I was his trophy, my fiancé John. We are engaged to be married in April and are expecting our first child in June. We have known each other since middle school and dated most of this time. We went to high school together and college. Our families known each other and have since we were 12. We are intertwined, inseparable really, all the time. Except during one activity, the only one thing that he loves as much as me. Sometimes I think, even more. Hunting. He leaves early in the morning, much before the sun creeps over the ridge, splashing it with life and color. He leaves much before I manage to crawl out of bed, when the dew still clings to the grass in the yard, much before the world stirs and watches and sees all. And then he's gone, for hours, the whole day usually. He comes back at night, always, with a trophy, an 8 or 12-point buck. I don't like that he hunts. I never did. I don't think of it as sporting. It's murder in a way, killing a creature from a long range without any true ability to defend itself. It's like shooting fish in a barrel, I would say to him, particularly in jest, but also to try to dissuade him from hunting any more animals. He would look upset at first, his jaw would clench, and then he would smile and let the anger wash off his face. He is a wonderful man otherwise. He cares for me, he holds my hand, treats me with decency and respect. We laugh together, we get along tremendously, except for this one thing, this one act. He wouldn't stop, no matter how hard I tried, not even for me. This went on for years, the same story almost every weekend during hunting season. Left in the morning, back in the evening, trophy for the wall. We started running out of space, and he moved some of them to our unfinished basement with his tools and workbench. He made sure there was always a place for his trophies on the wall, always. There was one spot in particular that always stood out to me, blank, empty, waiting for him to fill it with whatever he saw fit. The place over our mantel, the vacant space just above our hearth. Whenever I asked him about it, his eyes would gloss over, turn gray, and he would seem to look past me, over my head at something he couldn't see. He would say every time, almost mechanically, that this place was reserved, special. Only the most important prize would go there. Only he would know when it was time. I didn't know what this meant. How could I? I asked him if we could put a picture up there, one of the oil paintings that I had found at the autumn fair, something to fill that unoccupied, staring, blank space. He would frown each time and shake his head. No, it needs to be perfect. This went on for years, and although I tried to talk him out of it for me, for our coming child, he never stopped. He never even considered it. I thought this might be like this for forever, and wondered how many innocent lives he would take before it was all said and done. I wondered until last week. I came home early from work and threw my keys haphazardly on the counter, like I always do, and pulled out a frozen pizza from the fridge. John was at home, so I was in charge of dinner. Fine with me. I wanted a vegan pizza with almond crust, the one he hated. I set the oven to 425 degrees and went to our room to change. I was undressing when I heard something that sounded like a pained grunt from downstairs. Then something else, a mechanical whirring, buzzing, sawing noise. I called out to my fiancé. Nothing. Still the noise came, crunching, breaking. I was scared then. John wasn't supposed to be home for 2 hours. I went to the door leading downstairs, and before turning the knob, I called his name again. Nothing. I opened the door despite my mind begging me and pleading me to go back. I went down. Nothing in my life could have prepared me for what I saw then. 2 heads, both men in their 30s, sitting upright, draining into gallon-sized Ziploc bags that dripped beneath the counter. John was standing there, slouched over at his shoulders, facing away from me, distracted as he worked, carving up the bodies of 2 men and putting them into black garbage bags at his feet. There was something else too. 2 deer heads, bucks with bright white antlers that shot out of their scalps like limbs. He grabbed one of the dehydrated heads by its hair and began stuffing it up and into the deer's skin, behind its bones, behind its eyes. A trophy for the wall. I must have gasped and made some sort of horrified sound because he spoke then, with his back turned to me, never moving. "I knew today was coming," he said, his voice teetering on insanity. "Today is perfection." He spun then, so quickly that he almost lost his footing, covered in blood, and then stared at me with beady black eyes and a hollowed face streaked with scarlet. "Today, you go on the mantle." He started after me then, and I ran, as I had never run before, up the stairs and out the door, which I slammed and barred shut behind me. As I ran out the front door and into the night, I heard him drive his hacksaw into the wood, spitting huge splinters into the ground below. It could have been my mind playing tricks on me, but I thought I heard him howling. I made it to the neighbor's house before he could find me, and luckily, they let me in. We called the police, and they came quickly when they heard what I had to say. He was gone before they arrived, but his trophies remained. There was a human head under every single one.